On today's show, we head into the garage for some of our favorite stories.
Stories of gear made for the outdoors, grassroots style, and built in the garage.
Ooh, that is getting real close. Yeah, you want to see this foam here.
People are passionate about outdoor equipment. Get this. Americans spend more than $20 billion a year on gear. But no one ever really sees how their stuff gets made.
Well, that's where we come in. Each week, we throw open the factory doors and give you a behind-the-scenes look at how your favorite gear is made.
Made for the Outdoors is brought to you by Borderview Lodge.
Most products are built by inspired entrepreneurs looking to fulfill a need.
This isn't my prettiest look. Here we go.
Mary Hanahan had a need that inspired her to become an entrepreneur.
We could put another inch in here. One down.
At the Valley Molding Woodshop in western Wisconsin, Mary collects an essential ingredient to produce her goods.
When she doesn't show up, we call her and tell her we have sawdust for her, so yes.
Sometimes they help me, sometimes I help them. And it complements their needing to get rid of it and our needing it to make our fire bars. Now home we go.
Come on, work time.
Another day.
In her garage-turned-workshop, a single burning flame provides inspiration for this family operation.
Well, they're called Eco Fire Bars because they look like a little bar, and I started making them in April of 2017.
Mary and her husband Colin hand-build each bar from a recycled mixture of sawdust and palm wax. Both ingredients are 100% eco-friendly.
It is very precise, yes. So we weigh them, get them to the correct weight, and pop them in here.
I do feel like there's an art and a science to it.
Colin fills molds, while Mary bakes the bars.
We really do have fun doing it, and we do work as a team. We don't even have to talk. We just know that one thing's happening, and then we do the next, and we just kind of play off each other.
These are the wicks to go into the fire bars. Just makes them nice and easy to light.
Like batches of freshly baked cookies, the fire bars pile up.
Could you bring me them wicks over, Mary, please?
We are busy making, like night and day. We've even had people we know say, if you need us to come over and help, we will.
Just like that.
They've become hot items for locals and traveling campers.
Oh, I sell them all around here, of course, in Hardware Hank and the ice cream store, Paradise Landing, gas stations, and at the Wisconsin Interstate Park. I like making them. I like kind of fussing over them.
Mary's simple process wasn't always a labor of love.
It surprised me. I never expected to be making fire starters.
Mary created her first bar out of necessity on the opposite end of the world.
I lived on an island in Northern Ireland for 6 years. And while I was there, I had a potbelly stove for my heat. That's all I had in this little cabin, 16 by 30. And I had just a miserable time making a fire.
Residents on Rathlin Island took Minnesota Mary under their wing and gave her the spark to make heat.
I wanted to be self-sufficient. I wanted to figure it all out myself. Water, heat, food, the whole deal. It's a lifestyle. It's just being careful and thoughtful and Those experiences made me choose this now.
Mary eventually returned home with her master's degree, a husband, and a better appreciation for the natural world. Not to mention an eco-friendly business in a hot market.
But I'm still not a fire maker. But now I've got my own fire bars. I've come a long way, I think.
Thanks to a necessary spark from foreign friends, that created an eco-friendly entrepreneur.
My name is Kevin Holmgren, and we're in the backyard today.
I definitely want to preserve sports for the next generation, and there's a handful of us that really are passionate about it.
Made for the Outdoors is brought to you by Borderview Lodge, Ice Castle Fish Houses, Aquarius Home Services, Car Arms, and by Keystone Light. Keystone Light, always smooth. Celebrate responsibly.
My name is Kevin Holmgren, and we're in the backyard today over here in the projects. I live in Roseville with my bride, Debbie. And for the past 45 years, I've dedicated my life to preserving winter sports.
Here comes the sun. Gray bird turning into bluebird. The sun will cook the oil off. 40 years ago, when my bride and me went out to Steamboat Springs, we would see skis hanging in bars and restaurants and condos kind of at an X above the fireplace. And then we went to the antique stores, and seeing that they wanted a fair amount of money, what we thought for them. So, this is an antique wooden ski. Ski was built about 1920 to 1930. Preservation to be able to tell the next generation about these skis so they knew that they weren't made in Belgium and had a P-Tex bottom and stuff. These were oak and ash and pine and hickory. You can see this slot right here. This is where the leather strap came in. We kind of marry it up there to see where it's going to be, about that length. I've used this scissors for 40 years. I really like this scissors. And it remains sharp and it cuts leather pretty darn good. There was a lot of skis in northern Minnesota. Anybody who you talk to who's a mountain junkie, they're going to say, we live to ski. But the people in the old days, they skied to live. They used these skis as a tool to get from point A to point B a little faster. Think that'll work. This is where the ski manufacturers came because of the natural resources of this area. We do our supplies here. Got some gloves, got them at a garage sale, $1. What we want to do first is clean them up a little bit before we get the oil to them. So we take our steel wool, just hit it lightly. See all that dirt? See that dust right there? Back to our all-purpose tool just comes right back to life in the backyard of a St. Paul man. Steel wool's a great product too. These came out of Esco, Minnesota on Sunday, and they were in this guy's barn for 70 years, abandoned. And now, 3 days later, these skis have gotten new life. And there's our 40-minute project. 3 pair. I definitely want to preserve sports for the next generation, and there's a handful of us that really are passionate about it.
Made for the Outdoors is brought to you by Spire Credit Union, Moen's Mouse Mix, Polaris Industries, Warner's Dock, Game Fair,
My name is Jeremy Lynn, and this is my brother and sister.
And my name is Miss Wade. And I'm Autumn. This one kind of has a lot. Kind of.
We're out here tapping maple trees in our woods, making maple syrup. Yeah, I think this is the one we're gonna do. Our business is called Running Wild Maple Syrup. We all like running wild.
I'm Joshua Lynn. I run Artistic Taxidermy in Detroit Lakes, and my kids are doing the maple syrup thing.
Don't want to tap it in all the way. That should be good right there.
We're right behind my shop, right behind the taxidermy shop. I've got like 6 acres here. So last year, the coronavirus hit, shut down the schools. After about 3 weeks to a month of them being home every day, I said, you better keep yourself occupied because you're gonna drive me crazy.
I like reading, and that's kind of how this all started. It seems to be the best when you put it on the south side of the tree.
Right here.
Jeremy got this book. He started reading that, and then he must have got to the chapter of the maple syrup about this time last year, and started grabbing my drill. More research, more watching a couple YouTube videos, and they got their technique down.
I normally boil the sap, and they collect it.
That one looks like one. We take the container off of the hose and then we pour it in.
This one has some in it.
I don't really help. All I do is just watch them.
I saw you help.
And annoy them.
They clash sometimes. One of them doesn't want to do something, and I'm like, well, you guys got to figure it out. It's your deal, you know.
You have to boil 30 parts of the water away to get 1 part of maple syrup. Turn it up.
Well, it smells very good and it has a little bit of maple smell.
To know it's done is it'll foam and it'll be 7 degrees above boiling. Ooh, that is getting real close. Yeah, you want to see this foam here. Shut it off. Keep going until you can. The sugar sand that comes from the trees, and so we got to filter that out. The thicker stuff, it takes about 10 minutes for it to fully strain through. The last part of making maple syrup is getting the cover on and our Running Wild sticker.
I was blown away. I was like, oh, this is pretty sweet, you know, literally and figuratively.
Running Wild!
The possibilities are basically infinite. The beauty of working digitally is the fact that you can get right within an image itself and get real fine with your details.
Made for the Outdoors is brought to you by Canvas Works, L&M Fleet Supply, Warner's Dock,
The cool thing about art is there's so many different types of it. It's a wide variety, and it's cool to see what people kind of put their definition on it. So today at Bauhaus is a holiday market for Small Business Saturday. Bauhaus has a bunch of local artists come here and sell their various crafts and goods. They got jewelry, they got prints, they got paintings. My type of art that I've always liked to express has been in painting. Come on. Outdoors has always been just kind of like a part of my life. I've always loved hiking. I've always loved just being outside and being away from everything. And it really doesn't feel like we're in Minneapolis right now. Tina, come on. So I never had a dog, and it's been a blast. She's got eyes that pierce like daggers. She just loves going and venturing around and checking out new things as much as I do. All the ducks and geese hanging out on the ice. Canon EOS 70D. Way too big, but it's fun to play with. It's kind of like I get to hang out with the ducks. So you can be right next to them. I don't really put my photos anywhere. I just use them for inspiration. Once I started doing photography, I was like, this is awesome, I want to paint this. That's kind of my way of getting people to see my photography is through my paintings, which is kind of odd. I always like to start by just doing a light sketch. The unpredictable nature of watercolors was just so intriguing to me. So it requires a little more planning, placing water strategically. You're kind of committed once you start, and then once you start, you're kind of just going. And then on the flip side, doing it in digital. I kind of wanted to create that watercolor look, but to be able to manipulate it digitally. So it's just kind of fun to relearn something that I already knew, and then just kind of finding new ways to apply that. There's a time-lapse replay. It's always capturing what you're doing on the canvas. You can watch me do my art. The possibilities are basically infinite. There's all the layers, eraser, here's the paintbrush, there's all different types of paintbrushes. There's too many options, and it's a lot of fun. Since I've been working digitally, my style has changed. The beauty of working digitally is the fact that you can get right within an image itself and get real fine with your details. And if I don't like where it's going, I can just delete the layer, which is really convenient. cool to see someone make a connection with your piece that's completely different than why you made it. And seeing their expression and seeing how excited they get when I make those pieces and when I give it to them it's been so much fun that I'm trying to figure out how I can do more of that.